I wanted to be able, I wanted to be able to harvest the kind of the positive experiences here. So to hear from everyone, just you all took part in an empathy circle. What was the positive experience that you had, or what are the things that you liked about the experience? And then after that, we'll go around once, and then the second time we'll go around is just sort of a harvesting of any insights that you had from the circle, like ideas about how to spread the practice in Extinction Rebellion or in other places. So going around first do we have someone that can call? Let's see, did we lose? Oh, there's Bill. Do you want to be willing to call on people, Bill?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Okay.
Okay. First up on my screen, Rowan.
Hi, sorry if I get muted again. My computer can't detect my microphone, so it's going crazy. The thing that I noticed today I was in an empathy circle with mostly women, and that was very much more comfortable for me than when I'm in an empathy circle with mostly men. And I need to think about that for myself. Why is that? But I deeply appreciate everyone who spoke and everyone who listened.
Thank you. Okay. James? You're muted, James.
Edwin, can you just remind us what this first circle is we're doing?
We're just saying what we liked about the process, about the empathy circle process. So it's kind of like harvesting some testimonials, positive stories that we can use for promotion and stuff.
I'm gonna pass. Thank you.
Okay. Carolina?
I like practice today. However, it started for me with a lot of difficulty because I didn't feel well. I had a migraine, and so it was difficult on the beginning, but somehow I managed to mobilize myself and focus, and I'm glad of it because it was very interesting to listen to the participants in my circle about empathy circle, about living online, about possibilities they will stay with us maybe if coronavirus crisis will end. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Richard?
What I like is this I don't have a better word, but some kind of collective intelligence, that there is some wisdom coming up when we sit together and share, and everybody shares, and also the way how things are arranged. So you listen and then you talk, that there is, for me, there is some wisdom coming up in the group, and then I feel it's very tangible. Like, yeah, there is all those stories that we share, they're all interconnected, and there is something deeper that reveals itself by just listening and taking the time to listen.
Thank you. Katie?
Hi. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, actually. I think I'm learning how to retain information more fully, if you like, and listen to people. I think sometimes I can lose the beginning of something because if somebody's talking for a long time, I find it hard to concentrate. I've always been that way, and it's something I think it will help me get better at. So that's the one thing. The second thing is just the depth of the conversation was fascinating, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you.
Great, thank you, Katie. Martha?
Yeah, today I really appreciated staying with difficulty, or like with the reality of the moment, and sticking with that, with speaking truth.
Thank you, Mark. Marianne?
Yeah, I really appreciated how real everybody was, real and present in our group and caring. Thank you.
Pari? You're muted? There you go.
Yes. I like that when at the first we are talking from maybe different views, and after a while we connected to each other and we have some reflects for each other and have some feelings for each other, and I saw more connection between the people, and I really love that.
Oh, great, thank you. Corey?
Thank you. What worked for me is the sense of depth that I felt with people that I didn't know at the beginning, and through really feeling heard and hearing others. To, I believe Robert may have said before, it's sort of a collective consciousness. I felt that as well. Deep appreciation for something that can seem so simple on the surface and has so much significance and depth ultimately. I think the gift for me is really feeling heard, and that I want to experience more of that. So it's very cleansing for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Ben?
Yeah, so I had some trouble with my video during the call, and that came up as a minor topic. But, I think we got to quite a deep place actually. We managed to talk about care, and I think the real bottom, the real depth of where we got to was kind of considering that, you know, building human relationships was a very important aspect of, you know, empathy, like, you know, real human relationships. We can reach out to people.
Thanks, Ben. Michaela?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the circle I was part of, and I felt very, very heard and completed. And yeah, I think that was it. We discussed first. We started a discussion about the topic, but then we ended up discussing about different things, but each things were kind of like connected some way to each other. So that was very nice for me to see. So thank you.
Great, thanks. Kevin?
Yeah, today was a good call. I think I think that on this, unfortunately, the coronavirus is going to continue to be a catalyst to drive these forms of communication online. And then when we do finally get a chance to drive these communications face to face, I think the corona is driving community, is driving community together on the back end when we get a chance to be together again. Thanks.
Sure, thank you, Kevin. Leona?
Yeah, I realize what I'm really getting from this is both dropping into open circles and meeting people I would never meet, and hearing people I would normally never hear from. And then sometimes there's value for me in having a local circle or a topic-based circle. And I want to just reflect what Kevin said, which is when we come to the end of physical isolation, if I've built my local circle, we can go back to reconnecting in person. We will have already established our relationships. So those two things have come out of it for me about attending to the longer term of this, and just loving joining these. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Connie?
Yes, here I am, Sunny. Yes, I appreciated today a lot. I got a lot of inspiration, and this felt very beautiful to get paraphrased and to see how we paraphrase each other, and this felt very beautiful. It felt good. With my English, I feel a little limited, but it's also, I realized, a very beautiful way to improve my English, to get it paraphrased. So yes, all together was beautiful. Thank you, everybody, very much. See you next time.
Thank you. And Sally? Sally, can you hear us? Ah, there you go.
Hi. Yeah, sorry, I have noisy dogs. So I was ready, but anyway, oh God, there they go again. Must be someone at the gate. So we had a really kind of, I would have to call it an evolutionary growth of it started with frustration with the sorry, yeah, frustration with the media and the lack of scientific efforts that were being presented by the media and government and so on. And it resolved itself with the excitement or the recognition that the empathy circle is the most ideal way, two-way communication to express listening and feeling, and to go in that direction. That is the most important thing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think everybody is gone except for me and Edwin. I'll just say that I always appreciate, even though the practice is the same, it's not necessarily the practice, but the people. And the fact that, excuse me, that people are willing to come and to try and to put out there. It may seem small, but to me, it's profound. I really appreciate it. And thank you. Edwin?
Oh, thanks, Bill. So see, for me, every group is a different sort of energy, different feeling to it. And so so I appreciate that. Group to group, the sort of the energy changes, but the underlying foundational practice, I find, creates a sense of safety and a sense of fairness. So I appreciate that quality. You know, everyone gets a chance to be heard. Someone in the group said, "Hey, I don't get heard very often in my family, or because I'm a quieter person." And so this really creates a space for people who maybe don't feel heard as much or as often to you know, get that. So I really, that's one of the main things I appreciate. So I want to do a second round. Just you know, our question was, how do we spread the practice in Extinction Rebellion or beyond? And so maybe we can do a second round, you know, take a minute or two or to kind of share any kind of really relevant ideas that came up. I can maybe start with that. What came up in our group is that the empathy circle can be used in a lot of different contexts. So it was about using it in your family, using it, you know, with friends, using it in XR or any kind of organization. So it can be used in a lot of different contexts. Oh, one thing I was gonna